A side quest open if you talk to the NPC. I don't know what this sentence means, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's short for nut, yeah. Get Kalos started early. Yeah, I've heard that you can get them from the wild zones, or you do, like, side quests where you get them. Man, this feels so weird without ride Pokemon. That's another thing that you can actually find in the Terra Leak, is there's a version of Pokemon Legends ZA, both with, like, actual 3D buildings, and ride Pokemon. But both of them were cut during the development of this game for some reason. And everyone just freaking stands around like this, completely emotionless, all over the world. Like everyone's on some sort of meth high. That guy's running at like 6 FPS over here. And this is the world of this game in a nutshell. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, not even any rollerblades. Not even any of that. The Fleblebe one drove you insane? I dread to ask what the Fleblebe one is. New Harmonia's channel had a bunch of N theming, but Jesus, I didn't realize the name was too. Yeah, that's where the name Harmonia came from. Though, if you want to be technical, like, while the developers, or I guess the writers in this case, did give N the name, like, Natural Harmonia for, like, you know, natural harmonics, or, N harmonic, which is also, like, the name of, like, it's a term for notes that are written differently but sound the same. Like, they had a bunch of music theming in his name. While they had done that for him, in the actual story of Pokemon Black and White, Harmonia isn't, like, an inherent N name. It's actually a name that he inherited from Getsis. Considering at the end of Pokemon Black and White, Getsis is like, you're a disgrace to the name Harmonia, and all that. Oh, did the game lie to me? Is this a Fennekin one? The heck? How do we get the Kalos X and Y starters? Oh, it's just... Wait. View interactive map. I just clicked on a link. It says how to get the Kalos X and Y starters. And then the first thing is an interactive map that shows here. I thought I was going for, like, Chespin specifically, but, like... Okay, guess we're doing this. But yeah, that's literally where, Harmonia came from. Was N Harmonia. And all that stuff there. But yeah, I just thought it was because of music. And sort of tied to music in that way. Jubilife Village and Arceus is just standing NPCs regardless of time. That's true too. It does feel to me like Pokemon's publishing strategy is poorly conceived and lacking in foresight. Why rush out BDSP to an inexperienced developer in 2021? How weak products sell quite well, then be in no hurry to publish any more remakes for the next 4 years. From a purely money-making goal, why? Well, it still made them like a whole whack of money. Like, I don't... I don't think that they had any complaints about the profits, so it worked out well that way. I also like to note, N is canonically his surname, meaning the gropiest part of his name is something either he chose himself or something Getsis intentionally gave him. I don't know which is worst. Yeah, I know that that one is, like, connected to, like, it's connected to some sort of composer or something like that, right? Like, I always just think of N Harmonia. I usually don't think of the gropiest part. I don't know where the heck where you find that in-game, that information. I've only seen that on, like, wikis and stuff. Harmonia is his surname. I am a dumbass. I always forget which is, like, I don't know if I'm dumb, but, like, I always forget which is which among, like, surname and given name. So whenever I'm filling out a legal document, I always Google again, like, just before I fill in the wrong thing on the wrong place, let's just Google and make sure, instead of just saying first and last name, man. Let's be honest, the video games are a side project at this point. They probably make more money off plushies and scalpers buying all their Pokemon cards faster than they can make them than the video games. I mean, the video games do make a lot of money, but yeah, they do have a lot of revenue streams. And yeah, I think the video games are just, you know, a small part of the revenue. But it is true that all the other media at least centers around the video games, like the anime, the TCG, the movies, all that stuff. It is at least centered around the video games. The video games essentially give, like, the framework for what the other stuff is based around. I think the Kalos starter side quest is gender locked. Interesting. Made BDSP, sell well, panned by critic and player, got award for sale. The director quit game dev? Really? Surname is last, given is first. Yeah, that's what I figure, but, like, I always second guess myself. This poor wild Fennekin doesn't seem well at all. I guess I'm doing this one first. It won't even sniff at any of the food I offer it. And when I took it to the Pokemon Center, they weren't sure what might be wrong with it. Ah, you know, I recall there was once an herbalist who had set up a shop around here in Lumios. He no longer runs that old store, but perhaps he'd have something that could help. I'll stay by this little one's side for now. Please go see if you can find the old herbalist, won't you? I've got things to do. What do you think? I believe he's a regular at the cafe class. Get well, Fennekin. Sure, activate guide. Yeah, after BDSP, I hope Game Freak never makes a remake ever again. Dread what they would do with the black and white remake. Game Freak didn't make BDSP. Ilka did. Here, give me this here. Yeah, play BTD 6. Don't even actually know. I think I have an idea what that stands for. But yeah, Masuda is BDSP director and the other guy from Ilka. Okay, huh. Honestly, BDSP is a contender for my least favorite game of all time. That's very fair there. Wonder what my least favorite game of all time would be. Like, cause they're thinking about it. Like, just in terms of, I don't know why I paused the game completely there. But just about like games I played recently. Maybe Fire Emblem Shadows, if you count that. Just because that, you know, was like such a non-game. But if we're talking about things that are like actually like a full shipped game and not, you know, garbage freemium crap like that, then I don't know. Detective Pikachu Returns might be a pretty strong contender for least favorite game. Skull and Bones might be another pretty strong contender. I don't know, what other things might be strong contenders? Bravely Default 2 would as well. Like, even though Bravely Default 2 has higher quality than something like, you know, freaking Detective Pikachu Returns or Skull and Bones, because obviously it would. It's still just talk, old man. Yes, hello. What do you need? Are you the herbalist? I see. A Fennekin that's feeling poorly, Fennekin are known to eat twigs for an energizing and soothing snack. I imagine a revitalizing twig in particular could perk your Fennekin right up. I'm looking on the left side of the screen because I could have sworn I saw a hand a couple times. Oh, there it is. Whatever the heck that is. Whoa, what is that? The area where I used to gather them is now a part of Wild Zone 5. You can tell a revitalizing twig. What is that? It is a hand, isn't it? By its sweet scent. Though it won't be easy to find one while fending off attacks from wild Pokemon. It's you! Okay, revitalizing twig, huh? Here, let's go this way. But yeah, that Pokemon Minecraft mod seems fun. I hope it doesn't get attention from Nintendo. Pixelmon. The good Pixelmon, not the NFT scam that I covered. But it's because BDSP was so profitable that the Pokemon company should logically be rushing out another dubious remake every second year. Yep. Whatever logic they used to push that game out, they don't seem eager to replicate immediately. That I don't get. Yeah, you would think so. Like, just make a whole bunch of remakes in that style of the other Pokemon games and you'll be selling tens of millions of units. So, I mean, can I just ask, how does the anime even generate revenue at this point? I don't know what streaming platforms it's on, but there's no way the Pokemon company's getting that much of the revenue from subscriptions who watch the Pokemon anime. Hardly anyone watches actual TV anymore, especially kids, so the ad revenue can't be that crazy. I don't think that they make any physical media for it, so like, at least from US consumers, is there even a point in continuing the anime? I'm sure there is. Like, I don't know how it works, but I'm sure that platforms that host it probably pay like some sort of a licensing fee. Like, if something like Netflix is gonna host Pokemon Journeys, for example, is that what it's called? Then I'm sure they pay like X amount of a licensing fee. And like, I don't know how it works with like streaming services in general, if they also get like additional revenue based on the amount of views on top of that or something like that. I don't know. Bravely Default 2 is solid. Number 3 worse for me. Fair enough there. I have to, gosh dang, I gotta scroll up now. Let's see here. BDSP is like Bethesda make Pokemon. Broken at launch, good if you put mods, plural, in it. Yeah, that's kind of fair there. Also, Pokemon Masters EX, aka the hashtag Pokemon Master Sex. There's slop gacha games somehow getting EOs in many country, and many country probably still on. I don't actually know what EOS stands for. It would be BDSP / Crystal Chronicles remake, then Bravely Default 2. Then, oh, Paper Mario Sticker Star is a good one. That is actually another good one for like worst games, least favorite games, than Nights in the Nightmare. Part of me was debating about like, I was looking at how long to beat for Paper Mario Sticker Star, and it was saying something like 18 or something hours, and part of me was thinking, I could do that for a 24-hour charity stream one day. But do I really have it in me to do Paper Mario Sticker Star start to finish in one sitting? I don't know that I do. It would be incredibly funny, and it would be a great way to challenge my mental state for the sake of a good cause, but I would not be very happy about that there. Cobblemon actually? Oh? Pixelmon isn't that good. Cobblemon is a better one now. Okay, goes to show that I know, like, nothing about, like, Pokemon mods in modern Minecraft. Pixelmon mod went to shit. Oh, jeez. Pixelmon is the one that was around back when I played, like, modded Minecraft in, like, late junior high, early high school. Pixelmon didn't necessarily go to shit, just hasn't changed much in the last decade, and is dated as hell now, huh? You know, it's the end of service. Oh, gotcha there. Gen 10 from Terra Leak almost looks like Pokemon attempt of Pixelmon or Cobblemon. Yeah, from what I've seen of, like, leaks at Gen 10, it looks like that. I think my least favorite game is Monster Frenzy for the Nintendo DS. I've never even heard of that before. Too bad for the people who spent money on it. Color Splash there? Or other things there. I own Color Splash. It's on my shelf over there. Or Sticker Star. I was reading Color Splash also exists, but I don't know how good Color Splash is. Most Pokemon anime job is to sell toys or small bread? What? I assume small bread is slang for something here, like a, you know, small bit of money there. Have you never played Knights of the Nightmare? Look up a random gameplay video on YouTube. It is fucking incomprehensive. Oh. Pokemon wrap snacks, basically. So is it an actual term? I wonder how they're doing the MMO/online game. Yeah, time will tell, since, you know, now we know that that's a thing that they're working on, since stuff has been leaked up until 2030 with this recent Terra leak. Planet Coaster 2 is also a contender for one of my least favorite games. Yep, that's very fair there. If it gets fixed, that would change, though, because it has potential. The reason why it pissed me off so much is because it had so much potential and just fucked it all up. Yeah, I think that they are patching things and making things better from what I can tell. But they are also starting to roll out paid DLC content for, like, rides and themes and stuff like that, kind of like they did for Planet Coaster 1. So they are starting to, like, crank out the monetization and microtransactions with it already. So, like, you know, there's that. Color Splash is better than Sticker Star on the ground. That's funny, and that's something. Compare that to Sticker Star where nothing happens for the entire game. Yep. Sticker Star, I remember I played, like, whenever it first came out, however old I was then. And at that time, I was always, like, typically 100% in games that I got, because I was always trying to, like, maximize the amount of hours that I was getting out of the games that I was purchasing, because, you know, it's not like I had a massive amount of money for, like, buying video games, so if I'm buying a video game, it's like, I better make it last, I better make it, you know, be really worth it, so I'd be 100%ing video games back then, try to get my money's worth out of it as best as I could. So, you know, as someone that would have the patience to 100% most of the video games I played, I could never even beat Sticker Star. I got so bored out of my mind that I just couldn't play it anymore. So, you know, that certainly says something. How the hell do I get in there? I don't understand, man. I'm so confused here. Warcraft 3 Reforged is another strong contender for least favorite game of all time. But yeah, let's see here. Will it be more fun playing this game or installing any other game? I don't know, maybe installing any other game. I feel like the gameplay loop, at least this gameplay loop is different. More entertaining than a lot of the recent Pokemon games I've played. But, you know, it's not exactly something that I'm, like, chomping at the bit to sink my teeth into more of, like I am with, say, Ghost of Yote recently, for example. Like, I have so many games that I want to get through before the end of the year here. And so, when I'm wedging in time during weekdays playing something like Ghost of Yote, oh, that actually just reminded me of something that I need to wedge time in for during this stream. I'll talk about that here shortly. When I'm playing Ghost of Yote, it's like, okay, I gotta deal with this game queue. I gotta get through this. Let's commit and make some progress here. And then I just get distracted by doing a shit ton of side content. And before I know it, I've gotten like 2 hours into side content, then it's like, wait a second, didn't I say I was going to commit to story content to, like, get more on top of this game queue? Like, that's the way that it gets with Ghost of Yote, because it's genuinely, like, an addicting, really fun game. I am so confused right now. But I don't really feel that with this game. Like, I'm trying to showcase the main content here of, like, the main story, and I'll do some key side quests, like the ones for the Kalos starters here. But outside of that, I am so lost, man. But yeah. Gooner Guy falls under the funny? Gooner Guy is the name of a shy guy in Color Splash, I presume, there? But yeah, unfortunately, my first Paper Mario was Sticker Star. Oh, jeez. I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, people buy Nintendo Online to play the MMO. Yep, they would have to do that. Okay, let's do this, I guess. But yeah, why the map doesn't mark stairs? Because that wasn't in the budget, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, emulated 64 and Thousand Year Door. It was fun. Want to try that one ROM hack for 64? Yeah, Paper Mario 64 and then Thousand Year Door are both really good games. I missed a little sparkly thing there, but whatever. Oh, well, that's fine, I guess. You literally go underneath. I started going over this way to see if there was, like, some sort of launch thing to go across the rooftop. Like, I was looking up to see if there'd be some web that I could go across, and there wasn't. Which is why I didn't think about going this way. But now I see that the way is underneath. Gooner guy from the very first level. But yeah, the gameplay loop gets old quick, so routine. Nearly fell asleep playing ZA. Yeah, that's fair. Here we go. The Twig seems shriveled. Doesn't look like it would revitalize anyone. Just remember that one game I play is getting massive quality of life updates probably this month. Nice. These buildings have the same amount of depth as the buildings from Toontown Online and MMO from 2001. Speaking of Nintendo Online, it felt to me like a real swing and miss when Nintendo announced that it would once again allow NES games to be collected within Animal Crossing, locked behind the online subscription, of course. I noticed that as well, with that 13-minute trailer that they put out of, like, the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of Animal Crossing, where it's like, hey, one of the new additions that you can play some NES games, like, right within Animal Crossing here, but only with a valid Nintendo Online subscription. So I guess it pulls the game from, like, the whole NES Online thing that you already have going on the Switch there. And when the day comes that the servers are shut down, you'll just never be able to play those NES games in Animal Crossing ever again, because it was tied to their online subscription service. Which is, as funny as it is sad to me. I'm really not the biggest fan of modern Nintendo here. I'm really not the biggest fan of, just a lot of modern gaming stuff in general, honestly. I don't know, man. Crap. I don't know. Here. Do this. Come on. Get this Venipede. This Venipede looks really dark purple compared to what I'm used to. Here, catch a Venipede for funsies. Yeah, I don't think it's shiny or anything. Seems like they all just look like that. Oh, at least I can do this anywhere. Here. Check it out. Boop, you have a fire type move, right? Oh, nope, you don't. Never mind. Here, let's do this. Whoops, what have I done? But yeah, I've quite enjoyed a lot of my time, like, going and playing a lot of already released games that, you know, I never got the chance to play when they first came out. Boop. Oh, that isn't even my main thing that I needed to get. My main thing is up there. I keep opening the wrong menu! Boop. Like, with this channel and all the games that I cover, I've done a whole lot of new releases, evidently. But I've also done a lot of games from over the past several decades that I never got the chance to play in their prime. And see what they're all about. And I've really enjoyed my time with a lot of them. And, you know, the more of them I play, the more I feel like I should be playing, you know, already released games from the past, like, 20, 30 years. And less new releases. Like, my motivation kind of dies slowly for modern gaming. A little bit. Of course, there's still lots of modern games I'm excited about. I'm not saying that I quit modern gaming, but, you know, a lot of the time, some of my favorite enjoyment comes from playing classics that I never got the chance to play when they first came out. This twig gives off a nice, sweet smell. You found the perfect revitalizing twig. You obtained the revitalizing twig. Wow. I'm gonna head back to that sickly Fennekin. I almost read that as stinky Fennekin at first. But yeah, Gooner Guy is a fan name for our character in Color Splash who looks and sounds like he's standing in a corner masturbating. I can't quite teleport back there, but I can get pretty close. Honestly, I like the ZA gameplay loop. I know I'm one of the weird ones that will do one thing over and over again. It's relaxing. Yeah, fair. Gonna be a different feel for everyone there. But yeah, I wasn't that bored playing Arceus, and I 10-star the rank. 5 stars for the campaign. Oh, geez. Went really ham on it in that case. 10-star rank before the climax of the game. Then I found out the Arceus climax was bad doo-doo written. Hence why I haven't battled Volo. Oh, jeez. Oh, Sable there? I thought the Venusaur was named Saba. I was like, Venusaur's weird Pokemon to name after a catfish VTuber. That's the name of a catfish VTuber? If the name was Saba, the first thing that I would have thought would have been like a Professor... Oh, it's Sada, isn't it? With Scarlet and Violet. Not Saba, whatever. But yeah, it's Sable there. And I knew that doing the L that way would risk it looking like Saba. But I kind of wanted to do the tree design for the L. But anyway, Sable's the name of the national tree of Florida, which is a type of palm tree. So, like, I did what I had to do there. A revitalizing twig? I had no idea such a thing existed. That herbalist is a true gem. And so are you for finding one. Let's give it to Fennekin at once. So weird when you just see the edge of my eye. You fed the revitalizing twig to the wild Fennekin. Munch, munch. How delightful. It's looking wonderfully energetic now. Why? It seems like this Fennekin has taken a shine to you. Why not let it tag along? All I did was give it a twig. You obtained Fennekin. So yeah, there's specific side quests for each of the Kalos starters in this game. Do take good care of that Fennekin, won't you? Okay, well, let's see here. Within New Horizons, in the game update that Nintendo announced, they decided to pander to nostalgia with the original Animal Crossing, where one could collect in-game NES ROMs without actually replicating in-game ownership within New Horizons. Yep. You don't truly own those games. You only get to play them within Animal Crossing if you're subscribed to be able to play those games anyway. Man, everyone in this world is just so lifeless. Like, it genuinely looks like everyone is on some sort of a... Like, what is the drug that results in everyone being, like, you know, just standing zombies? Is it meth? Is it something else? Like, I don't properly know these things. I know it's one of the hard drugs. But it really seems like that. PCB? I don't even know what PCB stands for. Hi, dude. But yeah. Sometimes in the city that I live, you see a few people like that sometimes. They're kind of, like, half hunched over, like zombies. That's the one that makes you rip your face off. What? But yeah. Wish we could make it so that online services couldn't just be taken down on a whim. Of course, they would need to be taken down eventually, but with rational game modifications via a patch, unfortunately, we have so many other things to worry about politically. We're literally fighting for our right to service our own cars at this point, so video games will have to wait. Yeah, and I know that there are some pushes, like, in the gaming space to make things better, like the whole Stop Killing Games movement in Europe, for example. But yeah, a lot of industries are in a really kind of bad place in their, you know, current state of late-stage capitalism here. Also, I know this is not what you're going for, but every time I see the name Alma, I think of Ramses' sister of Final Fantasy Tactic. Yeah, Alma's the name of a hurricane. Love the chessman side quest. It's very funny. Yeah, let's see what these other ones are about. Oh, and I guess I can put Fennekin in my party there. But yeah, took them a sticky 5 years to add bulk crafting in Animal Crossing New Horizons. Yeah, adding a whole bunch of things to the game, including some Legend of Zelda characters and what was the other one? They added a couple Splatoon ones. Interestingly enough, I'm just tired of complaining. Just gets nowhere. Yeah, that's what it seems like. Ultimately, these companies are gonna make decisions based off what gets sales, like what ends up generating the most profit for them. They don't care about people's opinions. All they care about is the data on their spreadsheets from historical sales and analyzing data that way. I don't think these companies actually pay attention to anything that anyone says, like, opinion-wise. I think it's all just, like, stats and data to them. Maximizing profits and all that fun stuff there. I'm sure there's lots of indie developers that genuinely care about people's opinions and what they feel about the game. But, you know, big AAA studios, I think, literally just look at the stats. Which, speaking of, not a video game company, but with Halloween a couple days ago, when I was decorating my truck up for Halloween, I really wanted to have my truck in the front yard with, like, a skeleton on the hood or something like that, to make it look like my truck had, like, hit a skeleton. So this past week, I was looking for just, like, standard full-size skeletons at different stores. I was surprised that Spirit Halloween only had, like, really tiny skeletons and not, like, an actual just full regular-sized skeleton. And looking around, like, different hardware stores and stuff like that, I had seen stuff like that early on in October. But looking this past week, nobody has Halloween stuff anymore. They have a whole bunch of Halloween stuff off to the side in, like, the bargain bins where they're trying to get rid of it, like the Halloween stuff that they haven't sold yet. Everything is Christmas stuff now, before even Halloween. Like, in the past week leading up to Halloween, it was all Christmas stuff. And that's another one of those instances where I'm sure it's because they have, like, historical data that shows that at this point, the people that really cared about decorating with, like, these full-size props, well, have already bought them earlier in the month. They don't buy them later in the month. Now it's more profitable to replace that with Christmas stuff. So obviously they're not doing it for no reason. Obviously they have some data to base that off of. But I couldn't get a friggin' skeleton for my truck. So instead, my truck ended up running over Santa for this Halloween. So a couple days ago, Halloween night, there was definitely a decent few comments about that. And just like the decorate up truck and stuff like that in general. I got like a whole bunch of like basic stuff from the dollar store that I put in here. And there's my little small skeleton there, my little light up ghosty, my Ghostbusters Proton pack that I had at Hallowland there. A little 3D printed spider I put in this front flap there that's kind of hard to see in the dark. Like, I did a little bit of fun stuff there. The kids like the candy, the adults like the truck when it came to groups that were going around trick-or-treating. There was even a group that didn't even come up to the house for candy, literally just came up to get photos of the truck and then continue on their way. But anyway, I couldn't find a skeleton, so I hit Santa instead. And I told that to some people that were looking at Santa there. And some people were saying, oh yeah, that's better. It's funny you're hitting Santa anyway. That is so desynced again. It looks like it's synced on OBS. But like the thing that I'm doing on the game screen in front of me is like a solid 1 second ahead of what's going on OBS. It's when I switch layouts. It's something about that. I switch the layouts and it results in weirdness. Then I have to turn my capture card on and off again. So what I have to do. It does something weird when it lags switching back to this layout. I should just set up a display capture 2 for this layout, man. Anyway, let's see here. Are all your party names tangentially related to Florida? Yes. We have Floridator. We have Sable, the national palm tree of Florida. Abigail's probably not going to be here long term. Oh, that reminds me, I can do a thingamabob with that. Hikate was named by Mortis, and I'll probably get a Florida-themed Pokemon in that slot sometime later. Alma is the name of a hurricane that hit Florida, and Buccaneers, like Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then meanwhile, if I... Here, the Pokemon that I care more about go here. I'm gonna... No, wait. No, you're staying in. It's Abigail I'm taking out right now. I have another dark type anyway. You stay in for now. I'll find something more Florida-themed for that slot later. But the Fennekin that I just got here, level 14, attack up, defense down. I think that you'd usually be more of a special attacker. Look, I've got 3 starters here. Just do the order that is on the layout there. 3 starters across 3 different generations and 3 different types is kind of satisfying. Quick summary. Here. Go ahead and, whoops, that's the wrong button there. Here, look, I set up a thingamabob. Boop. Off with that. Now we have Fennekin with the name of, this is kind of dumb, but Florida, because it's fire type Florida. I was thinking about doing something based off of like a Miami Heat is the name of like some other sports team. I was looking at like big Florida sports teams, but I couldn't come up with anything based off of Heat that sounded good. So I was just like, let's just do something general fire theme because it gets friggin' hot in Florida. And I know that we already have Floridator and it's not going to be as good as that, but I thought, you know, this isn't half bad either, right? There, proper fire type. Yeah, I should have had California names because so many fire puns. Could well have done that. But yeah, everything's gonna be Florida themed. Unless I potentially get another Pokemon that I'm thinking about getting for my last Florida slot. In which case, it will be based off of Texas. Is what the last one might just be. We'll see. We shall see here. It's a little silly, man.